Hello everyone, today we're taking a look at two more Endgame releases of SH Figuarts. I do not have the Iron Man because I just didn't like the new form. I wasn't bothered with all the extra accessories and stuff. I was quite happy with the Infinity War Mark 50 and that's it. So instead I got Captain America and Ronin here. And I'm going to say this right now, if you haven't pre-ordered this, just don't bother buying it. Wait for the release of Hawkeye with an actual head, unless you really must have that sort of mask look. But you can probably get away with just the Marvel Legends one because that actually looks okay. A lot of the stuff I hate about Marvel Legends has been covered up by the design of the suit. So just do that. And there's some articulation issues with that figure, and there's an easy fix video that you can see on YouTube. Just look for that video, like fixing Marvel Legends Ronin, and you have a figure that's really good. So do that instead. As for these two figures, well, I already pre-ordered it, so I might as well get it. Damn it, Bandai. Here we have our new Captain America and Ronin standing next to most of my other Marvel figures that I still have with me. Of course, I still have a Black Widow and an original Hawkeye just off to the side, but whatever. Just so you can sort of see the size comparisons. Now I have pre-ordered the next actual Hawkeye figure, so we'll take a look at that when that comes out. You know, for Endgame, this really would have been one of the last chances for Bandai to give us an actual Chris Evans Captain America like face head. But I guess since the last one for Infinity War was such a joke that they didn't bother giving us one, so instead we have just a helmet head, and the other head is the same mold, just with the eyes looking slightly to the side like they've done with the past few figures, which is an okay accessory, except it's something I'm not really going to use, and I'd rather, you know, it not have that head and the figure be cheaper or have a screaming or shouting face. So yeah. So in terms of likeness, no toy brand ever has managed to pull off Chris Evans' face. And I don't know why that is. None of them look like him. They either look more like a comic book or they look like a completely different person. Not even Hot Toys has managed to get his likeness down, which it's a damn shame. So we have this head here. From certain angles, maybe straight from the front, it kind of looks like Chris Evans, and that's mostly helped by the fact that, you know, half of his face is covered up. To the side, yeah, kinda. So yeah, even half the face, it's still 50-50. So yeah, I don't know why that is. Is his face too generic? Wouldn't that be a good thing? Oh well. The A is molded quite nicely. The neck actually has a bit of the helmet molded down there, so even when you're moving your head around, the back still shows a bit of the blue. But of course, when you rotate his head too much, the strap breaks, so you have to move the neck with it to make it look a bit more natural. Collar moves with the neck, which does hide the joint quite nicely, I guess. And all the other straps and stuff are molded in quite nicely. The paint details, the blue is shinier, and you got this brown area that's a bit more of a matte feel. And it does look like, not leather, but you know, some sort of fabric-y material. Looks quite good. Moving down to the torso, you have all of these scales on the side, as well as scales on the arm as well. These are nice subtle details, tribute to the original Captain America suit that was in the movie, and it's represented here quite nicely. The star has a nice metal shine, looks a little bit rusted, a little bit old, looks good. The stomach area here is, well, it doesn't have any reddening. It is a darker color, which again matches how this suit would be compared to, you know, the more white and bright colors from the previous movies. We have an Avengers logo right there, that's printed on quite nicely. And a quick look at some of the straps on the back. Another Avengers logo right there. Moving down to this belt and buckle, it is molded in with his pants area. So I can't remove that to separate it. It's fine, these pouches are glued on quite tightly, they don't move out the way, that's a bit of a shame. The arms down here have a little bit of brown there, looks okay. Move on to the legs, you really have this whole fabric-y pattern going on all over the place. These folds and creases, I think that looks awesome. Looks used, looks rough, looks a bit loose, not too tight. A little bit of details on the side and pouches on the here as well. Moving down to the boots, it's just a flat sort of brownish, shiny color. You do get a little bit of red there for the pin. I think that's... I think it's supposed to look like that. That's actually quite distracting now that I've noticed it. These light colored pins. And here's a quick look at the bottom of the boots. Next up with Hawkeye, I just want to say that the next Hawkeye figure is almost the same figure. They changed the arm a little bit to have this little arrow shooty things. This strap's still there, but you have a quiver pack on the back. We moved the hood, have a human face, and this shoulder pad's a bit different, and that's really it. A lot of the figure is the same. In fact, if they were to give us like a human face, it's just a regular head for this figure, a lot of people will probably not buy the Hawkeye figure that comes out after this. Anyway, so the head here is okay. The face printed there does sort of look like him, and I'm guessing it's just the same print that they've taken from the next Hawkeye figure, but you know, they just print the eyes. The hood is made of a soft-ish material, and if you do want to swap the heads with the other one where it's looking slightly to the side, you do this. You pull it up forward like that way, and it should come off. See, it's this little sort of angular pegs there, so you want to put it back on, you just slide that back in from like an angle, and then push it back down. Has a tab on the back that will click it in place, like so. Did I get it right? Yeah, there you go. Otherwise, there's not much to say about the head. These lines are molded in, these golden lines, it's okay. Despite being sort of a rubbery plastic, the shine of the suit does look okay. It's not too toyish. And the folding and the crease lines on the suit is quite nice as well. Moving down, this rope piece is detached from the legs, so it gets out of the way if needed, and then the legs, you know, so just push it out of the way. Details on the lower leg continue the quality of the rest of the body, slightly shiny. The boot area is a bit more of a matte finish. But then we have this little knife area, which is just absolutely pointless. It's decoration only, you cannot pull it out. And this actually becomes more of a point of frustration, because when we talk about accessories for all these figures, it comes with a lot of kind of pointless accessories and not that many useful stuff. This would have been an extra useful accessory to have. Instead, it's just decoration. Here's a quick look at the bottom of his boots. In terms of accessories, both figures, aside from the fist already attached to them, both of them have a pair of relaxed hands. Ronin here also has his sword holding hands. Captain America also has a shield catching hand and a pair of strapped gripping hands. Both of them include a head that's slightly looking to the side. In terms of weapons, Ronin has, of course, his sword, which looks okay. You got these little patterns that run along the top of the blade. It's okay. It's slightly soft, so it shouldn't be too worrying if you're gonna snap it or not. And then you also have the sword in its little holder. It's got a little pin there, and that plugs onto the back of his torso. This stays in there. It's a bit loose, not as bad as the other one. This one's okay. Like, you can shake this figure, it's not gonna come out. Even if you're handling it, it's still there. That's fine. But you have one that's open, like without the sword. Plug that in. And this one is, I guess it was okay. It felt a bit loose a bit earlier on, so that's that. But you also have a completely identical one, just without that peg, so you can hold on to it and display it in the holding way, like he's pulling it out from the sword out. Could have done without that, looking to the side head. Could have done without this. I mean, you know, they got one with the peg and one without the peg. Why wouldn't they have another piece just to fill in that hole if they're going to be so, you know, nitpicky about it? Instead, it would have been nice to not have those and just have a regular active face there for replacement. Or, you know, just let me pull that little knife out. How's that? As you saw a photo online where someone compared this Captain America and one of the previous ones, and the accessories and the plastic tray is identical. So if you have, I think it's the Civil War Captain America, you essentially have all the same accessories here. Of course, you know, the coloring and details are going to be slightly different, but essentially the same parts. For Captain America's shield, you have these two sort of closed straps that you just plug it on just for, you know, the details. You have this bigger rounder strap to go around his arm, but it doesn't seem too natural because this strap is in a square shape. It looks a little bit odd, but hopefully you're not really going to notice it. It's more of an actual technical piece just to hold the shield in place. And I can also guess why it's in a square shape, so Bandai doesn't need to make two of these for each side of the arms. For God's sake, Bandai. You have this transparent piece here with a little clip to hold on to this shield catching hand for both sides. And you also have this other piece that's supposed to help you plug the shield into the back of the body. The first time I tried to pull this pin out the back, this cover up, it was really tight, but seems to loosen up a little bit second or third try. It's not falling out loose, but it is a very small piece, so do be aware of that. And then when I used the connecting piece in the middle, that felt very secure and a bit too tight as well, and I was worried I'd be snapping any of these pins. Luckily I did not. Using it again, it does seem a little bit looser, but the first time it was very worrying. This piece also has a hole in there for any Tamashi stage acts or arms that you want to use to pose it like he's already thrown the shield and it's flying through the air. One thing about this shield that I really don't like is that the straps are permanently molded into the item holding hands. That means this Captain America can't hold any items. That's very annoying. Yes, I did break like a bit on the force shield from Mezco, so that's my fault, but I do believe if the plastic is as durable or sort of more rubbery and softer like the plastic is in here for some of these strap pieces, I wouldn't have to worry about breaking it. So I would have really preferred an actual item holding hand where I can place the strap into it. Plus, since these straps actually unpeg from the shield itself, I can unpeg it, slide it in from the top of the hand and just rotate it and then plug the shield onto it. Why is this so hard? So we got these two hands there which are just used for the shield and otherwise useless. The shield looks quite good, sprayed quite nicely, shiny, nice, and on the other side with some basic details. Next up, articulation. Now Hawkeye does have the same double neck joint as with most Figuarts, but moving the head can be quite annoying because of this hood getting in the way. You can sort of squeeze this hood and kind of move it, or just put your thumb in there and just kind of nudge it around. But if you want proper movement, you're going to have to take this hood off to pose it properly, and that can get really irritating. Moving down to the torso, you can look quite far back, quite far forward, sideways, sideways, and the double socket joint there for the upper arm. And this piece here is a soft rubbery plastic, but it still gets in the way. But you know, the joint doesn't have enough strength to push up against this rubbery piece of plastic, so it's always going to move out just a slight bit. But it's fine, it matches how the suit looks, I guess. There are no upper shoulder rotating joints here, so the movement's just in that peg right there. He does have a rotating joint here, single elbow joint here, and arm is on a peg and swivel. Legs can go sideways. Now inside here, it's not the usual Figuarts joint. There's just sort of like a triangle, you know, like just like that, and then one on top there with sort of 3 balls. So yeah, the joints do get quite limiting there, but you can move his legs up that far. If you move it anymore, you can pop it out, and it's not broken or anything. You're not going to break it, but it's in the previous shoot I did for this video, it popped off, and it was quite annoying to pop back on. Partially because this skirt piece gets in the way. Now he does have like a pants thing underneath, so it's not just this piece, so that's okay. But this piece is soft and rubbery, a little bit thinner than the shoulder pad, so the legs can push up against it. So his legs can go up, go back. He can do like a rider kick pose, so he still has quite a bit of movement, but some limitation there. And whatever rotating joint is, it's just because it's a ball peg up there. Single knee joint, and then the feet go up a little bit, go down a little bit, and toes can go up. Feet can go slightly sideways and slightly sideways. So with Captain America, I can move his head back that far, forward that far, sideways that far, and sideways that far, so the double neck joint right there. His body is mostly the same as one of the previous Captain America, so if you have some of them, it's going to be mostly the same movement. Sort of a double joint in there, like a little peg, double ball peg. And no upper arm joints like that, there's no rotation here. I get it, they want to keep this piece there, but I think they just cheaped out. This could have been its own piece that just popped on top, with this arm sort of having rotating. You even have this, part of the suit there, the red line is designed to have a rotating joint, and they don't do anything there. There's slight movement, rotation there, but that's just because there's a ball peg in there. There's a rotating joint right here, but it's quite loose, and I don't think I have enough strength to hold anything up. It's not that good. I'll probably put some super glue in there to tighten it up. Not glue it together. Put a bit of glue in a ball joint. Keep moving it so the glue doesn't like seal it shut, and just acts as a thickening agent to make the joint more tight. This is a double elbow joint, so you still have a lot of bend there, and the hand is a ball peg and swivel. So it's also going to go quite far back, and I like that the details continue on there, so that's good. And quite far forward, sideways, sideways. Oh, that's very sideways. His belt and pants is a single piece. Don't like that too much. Reminds me of older Figuarts, but whatever. He has also the older figure joints on there, so his leg can go down. There's a rotating joint here, up, and then back. Double knee joint, foot goes forward just a little bit, back just a little bit, toe goes forward quite a bit. And here's what it looks like underneath. With the Ronin Figuarts, honestly, I would have gone with the next Hawkeye Figuarts and just not got this one if I knew that was the case. But of course we didn't know that because Bandai likes to do this. They will announce a figure for pre-order, like they know this version might not be the most popular one, and then after everyone's pre-ordered this figure, they'll be like, oh, here's another version that's coming out. And then more often than not, I find myself liking the newer version. I'm like, oh, for God's sake, is this figure a good figure in its own right? It's okay. The accessories are limiting, but they get the job done. He's only in the movie for like, this version of him is only in the movie for like one scene. It's okay. All the stuff is here and he's got all that he needs. But at the same time, for the price that I'm paying for, I also feel like this is one of the times where the Hasbro Marvel Legend figure isn't that far off, isn't that bad. Obviously, if you put two figures side by side, there'll be a lot of difference you can tell. But if you only had the Marvel Legends one, that's pretty cheap and easy to get. If you've not ordered this figure and you intend to pick up the Hawkeye figure later, but you still kinda like this look, picking up the Black Series one is okay. Some of the articulation is a bit limited on that, but I've seen YouTube videos online where they've sort of done a few cuts here and there, modified the figure just a little bit, and that gives it so much more articulation. The suit's not going to be as smooth, as shiny as this one, but you know, it's a lot cheaper, so okay. As for the Captain America figure, after I sold off my Figma one because I just thought the colors were a bit too bright and skin tones are wrong, I am glad to pick this one up. It is a shame that we never got a proper Chris Evans head at this scale. Hopefully someday a third party can do that, but so far no one, not even Hot Toys, has managed to get his face down correctly. And that's just, I don't know why. They've got all the other faces right, like Doctor Strange looks right, Thor looks right, Tony Stark looks right, even Ant-Man looks right, so what's up with the Cap? The figure itself is okay. If I've only to pick up one Captain America, I'm glad it's this one. I like the color scheme, it's not too bright, not too cartoony, the detailings are nice and has homages to the original suit. So all of the stuff I like from Captain America would be here in this figure. He's got the shield and he's got enough hands, I suppose, just missing a proper item holding hands. That always will bug me. But I guess if you have the Infinity War figure, then you can sort of use those hands, I guess. Still, for the price you're paying for, a lot of the stuff is a repeat from previous Captain America figures, and that can be a little bit frustrating. But overall, as a figure in its own right, it moves okay, poses okay, it looks decent, and overall I'm quite pleased with it. Something to note about the Captain America figure is halfway through the photo posing, this joint here, this little ball peg right here, it became very loose, like almost to the point where if you just let it go, it just go. That's very annoying for a new figure. But it's not the end of the world. If you want to fix like a loose joint like that, just add a little bit of super glue in the hole slot, plug the ball block in it, and just keep moving it for the next 5 minutes because you don't want to glue it tight. You just want to use the super glue as like a thickening agent. You just like, layer it. So just keep doing that. Really unfortunate that we won't be getting a Chris Evans figure, most likely. None of the figures look like him. It's just a shame. But otherwise, at least it's still a fun figure to play around with, and I probably won't need to pick up any more Captain America figures. This one's quite fine. Unless someone eventually does make one that actually looks like Chris Evans, then yay, I'll get that one instead. The Ronin figure is also decent in its own right. It's just that some of the accessories are a little bit confusing, and yeah, the Hawkeye figure, it's annoying. It's like almost the same thing. But overall, articulation, build quality, and paint quality on this figure is pretty decent, and the Ronin figure is also pretty decent as well. If you just have to have every look and every version of the Marvel figures, you will not be disappointed by these figures. Although some of the accessories is a little bit silly. At the end of the day, I do recommend these, but if you already have some form of Captain America in 1/12 scale, then maybe this is a pass. And if you're just waiting for more classic Hawkeye, then this is a pass too. I don't think these figures are as essential as the last 3 figures I reviewed previously. Now Bandai just announced their Endgame Hulk, and the head is, again, using one head looking forward, one head looking like slightly to that side. The face expression is kinda like Happy Hulk, but both facial expressions have a frown on them, which is not the case. He's a lot more happy in Endgame, So that's annoying, and the actual figure of the suit doesn't look quite appealing. Again, I'm quite happy with the Infinity War version. I'm not gonna pick that up. Other upcoming figures, I did order the Hawkeye figure and I did order the Nebula, so I look forward to those. I do hope that Bandai eventually gives us more Avenger figures, just from the other previous movies. That'd be great. Perhaps we can get more of the Guardians when the next Guardians of the Galaxy come out. That'd be nice. I'll definitely pick up Gamora, maybe a Groot, and Drax. Oh, and speaking of Endgame stuff, there has been a third-party company that's releasing a bearded head and a little tummy flap that you can plug onto the Infinity War 4 figure. So that should be fun. I'll try to find a link or at least a photo of it somewhere below, and then hopefully you guys can buy it for yourselves. I'm not gonna get it because I kind of feel like someone might do a chubby, fat Thor figure at some point. It's great. I have Thor's physique now. Almost. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up or thumbs down button if you didn't like it. And you can leave a comment below how you feel about these figures, or you have the Marvel Legends versions instead. I did take a look at the Marvel Legends 10th anniversary Captain America. The head shape is almost there, but note the jawline is not as square as Chris Evans, and the nose bump is not as pronounced as Chris Evans. I feel like if they just fixed those a little bit, it's so close looking like it. Of course, you can support this channel by heading over to Patreon, telling Apple off, or simply sharing this video with other people. And I hope you enjoy the photo shoots or the other photo editing videos that I've been uploading alongside the reviews, before they come out. So check those out. And as always, you can check out the photos on Facebook, Tumblr, Imgur, and all that good stuff. Instagram, DeviantArt. Take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.